Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Hiemstra, and I am the Publicity and Outreach Officer for the Association of Canadian Women Composers. I'm pleased to be joined today by Dr. Alexandra, who is one of our recipients of the 2021 Roberta Stephen Award. So, Dr. Alexandra, thank you so much for joining me today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself as we get started?
Thank you very much for having me. I am a proud Canadian composer, originally from Bulgaria. I live and work in Montreal. I am the music director and organist of St. James United Church, a National Historical Monument. And I am the fundraising director of the Festival des Arts du Ruel, a festival which is a multidisciplinary event featuring performers from various disciplines, about 30% music, street arts, and so on, that takes place on the alleyways in Montreal during the summer. So this is what I do, on top of being a composer and doing my own projects. The Roberta Stephen project is one of my upcoming projects, for which I assume we'll talk soon. And personally, I am happily volunteering 1 day a week for a community organization, Chez le Petit Père, where we collect and repair shoes to distribute to the homeless population in Montreal. So this is about—
That's amazing. That's amazing. It sounds like you're really involved in your community, which is always so wonderful and encouraging to hear. Could you tell us a little bit about your project that you are working on with the Roberta Stephen Award?
So the project exists in more than one versions, and I've been really lucky that they have both been supported. The Roberta Stevens Award is helping me compose the octet version, and I recently got a Canada Council production grant to record the trio version, which already existed and was commissioned by an ensemble in the United States. So the octet version is for narrator and 7 performers. On the words of former Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I'm definitely not sure that I am. She gave mind-blowing anti-misogyny speech, which has now been voted best Australian television moment in the history of Australia. The full speech is on YouTube. I wrote to her and asked her whether she would kindly give me permission to set it to music without really expecting a response. So to my great surprise, I did receive a response saying that the Honorable Julia Gillard considers the speech public domain and she would be very happy if it be set to music. So I immediately launched a call to my friends from around the world on Facebook, and I said, is there an ensemble interested in having this? 2 ensembles replied, the Baseless Trio from the United States, and El Perro Andaluz, an international ensemble based in Germany. So 2 versions exist of the piece, a 5-minute trio version and much longer octet version, the premiere of which should take place on the 5th of May this year, if all goes well. Featuring, from what I understand, an Australian woman as the narrator. I'm looking forward.
Amazing.
And this is the project which exists in version 1, version 2. This is how they are submitted to the CMC2. The title is Opposing the Motion, and you will know why once you listen to her speech, which I highly encourage you to do. It's glorious, glorious.
That's amazing. Wow, those sound like really ambitious and really exciting projects. Dr. Alexandra, do they exist? So the trio version is being recorded presently and the octet version will be performed coming up in May. Is that correct?
Yes, they both exist. The trio version will be recorded on the 20th of May by Studio Tournesson. And the octet version, as of now, has a performance schedule. The concert will be recorded. Whether or not a studio recording will exist, this is a future project. I'm very grateful that, as you said, an ambitious project. This is why associations like ours are important, because they support ambitious projects. Now, ambitious women, this is not always considered a good thing, but here we are.
That's amazing. Well, I know we'll definitely share the trio version when the recording comes out. I'm really looking forward to listening to that. We should also mention by happy accident as well that we're working together on another project, a wonderful organization that I believe you created, the Laudam.
Oh, no. I
just
cannot
working
take
for
the credit for that. I'm behind the project, but the organization exists for more than 25 years. And
okay,
was
amazing.
Created by now retired organist of the Catholic Cathedral in Montreal, Hélène Dugal. She was the founding president. And I work closely with one of the founding members, Jean-Pierre Couturier, baritone. He's a priest. He's also the founder of the community organization that helps the homeless. So you can see how everything is connected in a way.
That's amazing. So this project, thank you for clarifying that. It's good for me to know as well as a contributing composer on this project. We're currently working on, I should say, your Laudam, the organization, is working on this project, and I feel honored to be one of the composers involved, but working on an anthology of the new organ music to be used practically. Is that the aim of this anthology?
Well, the aim is that the pieces should be equally usable in liturgy and in concert. They should be accessible to organists who are not virtuosos, who are not concert organists, but who wish to enlarge their repertoire to include interesting and new compositions. It's very difficult to find attractive works composed specifically for people of intermediate skills. So easy works exist a lot because of education, etc., and all this. Difficult works exist a lot because composers and composers like me, we are very lucky when we find a wonderful performer willing to help us. We go all the way. However, there is the intermediate set, the people who enjoy playing, who are not necessarily professionals and yet sufficiently advanced to be interested in doing more than just background music. So Laudam found itself with a surprising amount of money that came as a redevance, as copyright for our editions. So the copyright money came in and we are reinvesting it in the community as we are a registered charity, and this is what we do. Among the composers, I, as the curator, chose to look for people who come from different parts of our country and who represent different generations. So there is Matthew Lane, Graham Shields, Enrique Coe, Jeff Smallman, Jean-Pierre Couturier, John Rea, Mo Tuizrar, Tate Pumphrey, myself, yourself, another Emily Doolittle, and Olivia Korosak. So among the people I just listed, there are at least 2 who live outside of Canada. Mo Tuizrar currently lives in Finland, and Emily Doolittle in Glasgow, in the UK. So the La Portée, the reach of our publication will be felt outside of the country's borders. I have planned a number of concerts, and I hope that by performing those pieces in public, the colleagues will hear them. Everything will be YouTubed, of course, in order to order the anthology. And
yes, that's a yes, we're really looking forward to it. Sorry, I have a 3-month-old just on the corner. Sorry about that. For those of you wondering what that sound is in the background.
Working women should apologize. Children are our future audience too.
But we're very much looking forward to. There'll be 2 concerts, one in Montreal and one in Quebec City coming up in May. And then I know you're also taking these on the road as well. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that while I pick this little guy up here.
Well, the road is a tour that was postponed twice. But if all goes well, I will be in Finland this summer playing 3 or 4 concerts where I will include the pieces of the anthology, ideally all of them. In a way, for us as the Canadian music community, it is a good thing that the tour got postponed, because this is how I can include all these other pieces. The tour itself is possible with the kind support of the Canada Council for the Arts, who accepted my request to commission Mo Tuizrar to write a very, very long piece, 20 minutes, which is like 1/3 of the concert. Again, a piece that could be divided in sections, could be played in parts, and could be played both for liturgical and for concert purposes. I think the practicality of the approach is very important. As I, as an organist, have premiered a number of pieces who can only be played by Alexandra and people as crazy as her. Who can spend hours and hours on an incredibly difficult piece that the 25 people at the New Music Concert will hear. And I believe more and more that this is a dead end. Pieces should be heard, and should be heard often. The singular performance.
I couldn't agree with you more.
The singular performance should not be the norm. It should be the exception.
Well, Dr. Alexandra, thank you so much for the work you're doing in your community, for the organizations that you are working with. I think you are a very worthy recipient of the Roberta Stephen Award for 2021. We are very much looking forward to hearing the premiere and the recordings of these wonderful pieces that you're working on. So thank you so much for taking the time with me today to speak, and we wish you all the best on all your future endeavors.
And I thank you, and thanks to the association for supporting me. We need to know that the community is behind us. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.